Zegt het woord!
The cheese market of today is a somewhat romanticized version of how the real cheese markets were held in Edam up until 1920. In the early days, cheese was brought in by the cheese-making farmers themselves, the so-called farmer's cheese. Tradesmen purchased the cheese by clapping hands until they had come to an agreement on the price. The Edam cheese market originated somewhere in the 13th century, the time where farmers traded their handmade cheeses on local markets. Besides Edam, there were more than 10 other markets in the North Province of Holland.
As the factory-prepared cheese took over from the handmade cheeses from the farms, the market slowly disappeared. The last proper cheese market, which was in Alkmaar, disbanded in 1949. The shown images are of the Edam cheese market, on exactly the same spot as where the market is being held now and date from about 1910.
In the Netherlands, cheese is generally made from cow's milk. The only place within Edam's original city walls in which cows are stalled during the winter months is with Dirk de Boer at the Nieuwvaartje. Every now and then he milks them by hand as they used to, a common sight on every farm in the old days when most farmers, especially the women amongst them, made their own cheese. Whenever there is still cheese made on a small scale, the preparation process is easy to follow, as you can see here at the cheesemakers van Pronk in Warmerhuizen. After the milk is partially skimmed and pasteurized, it is pumped into an open tank. Nowadays, stainless steel is used instead of the old-fashioned, simple wooden vats. A special mixture of bacteria is added to the milk in the vat. These bacteria give the milk special flavor and improve the shelf life. As well as the bacteria, natural colorings can be added. When the tank is completely full, a coagulant is added. The coagulant makes the milk curdle. After about an hour, the milk is sufficiently curdled and the stirring process continues. During the stirring, most of the liquid, the whey, is separated from the solid mass, the curd. The whey, mostly consisting of a liquid solution of milk and sugars, is removed. The curd then gets strained. The cutting process is done in such a way that later on the curd portions end up exactly the right weight for the cheeses. bygone days, wooden moulds were used with an inlay of cheesecloth to form the cheese. Nowadays, you will only find its plastic successor with its built-in sieve. The principle, however, is the same. To produce a better shape, the curd mass is sometimes turned again in its mould. It is then given a lid and placed under a press. The press is not only used for shaping, but also to remove the rest of the excess whey. After about 2 hours, the formation is stable enough to be removed from the mould and is then be placed in a bath of brine. After 2 days, the cheese is ready for storage. 2 weeks later, the young cheese is suitable for consumption. In principle, the preparation process in a factory is equal to the one of a cheese farm. Differences are the large production scale, the continuous production, and the many mechanical and computerized steps. Here, a sample is taken for laboratory analysis. As a result of the large scale of production, the quality and especially the flavor are far more consistent. This is partly due to the fact that the area in which the milk is collected is far greater in size. Also here at the Kono in Midden-Beemster, the process starts with conditioned milk to which the coagulant is added. After checking if the milk has sufficiently curdled, the stirring process has started to turn the mass into a solid curd. Here, the entire content of the tank is drained, separating the whey from the curd. After the curd is evenly spread and the whey has sufficiently drained, the curd is cut into equal portions using a clever, fully automated cut and slide mechanism. Not even filling the cheese molds is a manual labor. Slowly but surely, the section used for storing the molds under pressure is filled. After releasing the properly shaped cheeses follows a bath of brine. Due to the large production scale, the cheeses are put on shelves. The turning and applying of a special layer to prevent, for instance, mold is yet again done without human intervention. However, manual labor is called in for finishing tasks. After a fortnight in conditioned storage, the cheese is ready for transport. Within the cheese warehouse of Edam, there are thousands of cheeses maturing. From time to time, they are turned and tested. The conditions in which they are stored are monitored carefully. The conditions, the heritage, the production process, and the duration of storage determine the flavor of the cheese. Young cheese is ready after 3 weeks of storage. Mature cheese needs 2 months. Extra mature needs at least 7 months, and for the over 1-year-olds, the name says it all. Here, the cheese is also prepared for transport, sometimes to faraway destinations. For special destinations, sometimes a red colour is applied to the outside. In the United Kingdom, the red Edam cheese is also known as Dutchman's heads. This way, the cheeses arrive at the consumers. They are often available in different flavours, shapes and colours, like here in Edam, the birthplace of the Edamer cheese.